All right, I'm live. Welcome to my channel, Inviting Possibilities. My name is Rochelle, and I am here to do a reading for fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or anywhere else you might have fire in your chart. Even if you don't, there still could be something in here. It's my intention that there's something in here for everyone. And my readings are also timeless. So whenever you catch this is the right time for you. I've chosen 3 cards from Wisdom of the Oracle, and I'll be clarifying with some other decks. And I have let the universe choose a song. The title of your song is Connection. So, yeah, connection. I mean, it could be around a connection with another person or other people, a connection in some kind of situation, a connection in a job or something like that. This could be about connection within yourself, connecting to a part of yourself that you hadn't previously been connected to. We'll clarify and we'll find out. But ultimately, we start with blessed in the protection position, which is speaking about kind of potentially hitting rock bottom and understanding that in order to have what you want in life, you have to show up differently. You know, if you do what you did, you're going to get what you got. And so it's about being different. It's about connecting differently to yourself, to the world at large. And then we have poised, which is about a new beginning, getting ready for a new beginning. And I feel like you showing up in a different way, you connecting in a different way is allowing you to prepare for a new cycle, for something new that's going to come into your life. And it could be a new connection with somebody, in some way. There's some kind of transformation that's happening. And this is you getting ready to embrace that. She's got her arms up wide and it's just like, all right, bring it on, universe, bring it on. Bring on those blessings. And then we have to the sea in protection position, which speaks about this being a time where the new beginning has not begun yet. It hasn't started, that you're poised and ready, but there's this kind of waiting period. You're in a little bit of a space of limbo. And one of the things the book talks about is this. They say it's an old mariner's saying that if you can't go out to sea, then you stay home and repair your nets. And so I feel like this is kind of you're learning how to show up in a new way, and it's a process. It's not something that's just going to come to you right away, come to you overnight, that it's going to require a little bit of time to integrate. And once you do, then that new beginning will happen. And so there's very much this message of trusting in divine timing, knowing that you're going to be led where you need to go in the right time. And that the reason that the new beginning hasn't started yet is because there is something for you to learn still. So let's clarify with the good tarot to begin. King of Water. I mean, this guy, he's very compassionate, very kind, very emotionally balanced. This could be this is a new way of being for you. Understanding that however you were showing up before maybe was not from such a kind and compassionate place. And whatever you've dealt with, whatever has brought you to this place in your life, you're realizing that it's important to do things differently, to show up differently. If you want support, you need to provide that support. First to yourself and then to others. Ultimately, we can't give anyone we're not giving ourselves. So it always comes back to you. So I feel like there's definitely this real sense of you connecting with yourself in a new way, in a much kinder, more compassionate way. 5 of air, we've got some tension and conflict that you're in the process of resolving. I mean, this definitely feels like it can very much be an inner job, an inner something that transformation that you're going through. And that's the thing, is that when we're dealing with stuff on the outside, it's reflecting what's going on within. So this can be you kind of coming to terms with some kind of issues that you've been dealing with people or situations in your life that have been less than comfortable, and realizing that you're always the common denominator. If you don't want that tension and conflict in your life, then you gotta bring it back on yourself. Where have you been supporting that? Where have you been creating that? Where have you been allowing that? And 6 of fire. Oh, yes. Yes. This is a card of victory. This is a card of you learning the lessons from whatever you've been through, from the tension and conflict. Yes, it's been challenging, but I feel like it's kind of, there's a bit of a spiritual awakening happening for you, because this card in particular in this deck is about being an enlightened influencer, being that beacon for others, showing up in a whole new way that draws other people to you, and enlightened. When you're enlightened, you get something on a very deep level, because that's where you're tapping into your wisdom and your ability to show up compassionately, to be kind and caring and fair and generous. This is your transformation is leading you to this place. This is why you're not ready to begin yet. This, better to say, this is your beginning. And so you're in the process of preparing for this, of doing whatever mending you need to do, whatever tension and conflict that you've been feeling within yourself that's being reflected back to you in your outer world. So let's look at the Oracle Tarot. The Moon, yearning desire. So the moon can be a couple of different things. I think partly the yearning desire is about wanting something new in your life, wanting things to play out in a new way than they have before. A yearning desire for connection and healthy connection. And maybe there's a particular person, if you're single and there's somebody you have your eye on, that could be part of it. And a yearning desire, the moon often speaks to me of intuition, of tapping into your kind of sixth sense about things, and allowing your intuition to lead the way, to tap you into that's where you tap into your wisdom, allowing you to go in this new direction. But also the moon can speak to things that are hidden or distorted, that maybe you've been in this place of kind of yearning desire. Speaks to me of being constricted, like, almost, there's almost a desperation to this feeling. And that's the thing, is desperation is, it's a lower vibrational feeling. When you're constricted, then you're closing you're closing yourself off to the good things that are actually meant for you, that the universe wants to bring you, those blessings. And so this is probably a part of what you're going through, where you're learning to release that yearning desire, or those desires. Yearning desire. Release the need to feel like you're yearning for a thing. To learn to be okay with whatever you are faced with in the moment. The star. Wow, we get the moon and then the star. Hope, inspiration, and nature. Feeling hopeful about a new beginning. Feeling inspired to do this work, to learn your lessons, because you do want something so much better for yourself in your life. Yeah. And going into nature is definitely going to help you. Definitely going to help you connect back into what's really important. Nature is our true mother, our true home. As much as we've built this world around ourselves, getting back to nature is where we get back to ourselves. Okay, one more card here. Stress and anxiety. This could be what you're dealing with as you're going through this process of healing. Maybe you don't want to let something go. Maybe you're struggling with showing up in a new way, making decisions that are different than what you've made before. There's some kind of stress around that. Because if you're doing something different, you're essentially stepping into the unknown, and that definitely can cause stress and anxiety because you don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's why so many people continually make the same choices as they did before, even though they know it's not going to work out in their favor, because at least they know what to expect, at least on a subconscious level. And I think tapping into that part of you that is inspired, your intuition that is the direct line to your higher power, where your inspiration is funneled through and to, that helps you to release the anxiety and the stress. Because anxiety is all about worrying about the future. And so it's right now you're needing to come back into the present, take care of what needs to be taken care of in this moment, mend those nets before you go out on your next voyage. Okay, so let's look at Osho Zen, see what Osho Zen has to say. Nothingness. This is such a great card because it's all about potential. It's all about infinite possibilities and what's to come. This is the unknown. This is what you're facing. This is where the stress and anxiety comes from, because you're like, I don't know. I can't see anything. It's black. And it's like needing to trust, needing to remember that the universe has your back, that you are being led where you're supposed to go in this really beautiful, amazing way, on this beautiful, amazing path. And ultimately, we like to think we know what's going to happen. We like to think we're in control. We're not. We are not. The pandemic is a great example. So it's just like, okay, embrace what's here now and know that it's going to lead you to something really amazing. Yeah. You're going to go from the darkness, the blackness of possibility, into the light. You're going to kind of you're going to gain that clarity, and then you're going to be like, yes, I'm going forward into the light. I know exactly what I need to do now. This is where you've been, poised and ready, figuring things out. And then you're going to, once you get that green light, once that flag goes down, it's like, okay, off to the races. You're very, very determined. We've got the arrow, very, can't think of the right word. Just like laser focused on what you want and how to get there, how to achieve it. And past lives. There's some who subscribe to the idea that we have lived other lives, that we come into the world with understandings of things. Everyone comes in with a different personality, with different knowings, and you see it really quickly when any parent with multiple children will tell you, like, yeah, they're very different, and everyone has their stuff, and it's like bringing all that in with you. And sometimes it's about working stuff out. Maybe in a past life. I mean, if you don't subscribe to that idea, this could just be like the past life in this life that you were living, where you were showing up in this certain way and you're realizing, no, it's time to change. It's time to be birthed anew. Because it's a little bit like the womb here, and then like coming out of the womb, so that you can you can have this new beginning. You are going through some kind of rebirth, and it could very, very well have something to do with people in your life, or a specific person who's meant to walk with you through this on this journey, on this path. I mean, a part of this is, it could be because you start to show up in a more authentic way, that people see this and they're like, "Ooh, I know you. I recognize you. I like how you're showing up. I want to follow you." Like there's a recognition there. Okay, so let's look at Wisdom of Avalon. We get the cat. This one comes up a lot, actually. Independence and healthy boundaries. And I think this has to do with this new way that you're showing up, that probably in the past you were not so independent. You were probably a little more on the codependent side, not able to set healthy boundaries, letting things happen to you, or thinking they were happening to you. And this is being like, okay, first of all, I know that things are happening for me, not to me. And this is like standing in your knowing, in your wisdom, being connected to your higher power through your intuition, getting those downloads, and knowing when you need to stand firmly in what you know, and when it's okay to be more flexible. That's the thing about healthy boundaries. You're able to set them where you need to, but they're not like firm, rigid boundaries. There's a flexibility to them. The High Priestess, discernment, prescience, prophecy, and vision. Yeah, this is the energy that you are beginning to embody, being tapped in, connecting to your higher power, connecting to your higher self, to that inner wisdom, that inner knowing, having that third sight, that clear vision of what to do and how to do it. And the Horse, this keeps coming up too, accepting help from another. Yeah, you very likely have somebody coming in But it could be a group of people as well who's going to help assist you in your journey. These people who are going to support you and encourage you and follow you because they're inspired by you. Let them help you. Let them boost you. We're never on this journey alone. There's always others. We're social beings, and ultimately we have our higher power helping us. So remember, you don't have to do it all by yourself. You're not alone. You're never alone. Okay, where are we at? Let me look at the rune cards. My last reading for you, I went through the decks pretty quickly. Getting better at articulating. Wholeness. Yes, you're coming back to yourself. You're understanding that you are whole. You were never not whole. You just had some false beliefs and ideas that you were broken or separate or something, you know. There was fear covering up that deep understanding that this is who you are at the core. And we have all the birds flying together and the sun shining, flying into the light. This is not a solo journey. Wholeness, understanding the wholeness within yourself attracts others who not only understand that themselves, but also are able to learn that from you, that you're inspiring others to know that about themselves. It's a wonderful ripple effect. Signals, getting signs from the universe through various avenues, various, I don't know what to say. There's all different ways the universe gives us signs of what to do, of how to move forward, of how things to stay away from, and knowing what's right for you. Because you're setting those healthy boundaries, because you're independent. Yeah, this is definitely speaking to some kind of spiritual awakening. Separation. I think this can speak to separating from an old way of being, from people or situations in your past that were not supporting you, that were not for your highest good. You know, when we have a spiritual awakening, when we start a new path, it's very common for people to fall away because they just don't vibrate at the same level anymore. And it can be difficult sometimes. We don't want to let go of the people that we love in our life. But sometimes it's just what's needed. It's just what has to happen. So I'm going to look at the Spirit Animal Oracle. Dear Spirit, this keeps coming up too. This came up for Earth signs yesterday. Bring a gentle touch. And yeah, you're meant to be this enlightened influencer, and it's the gentle touch that draws people in. When you're going out there and you're being all like hardcore and it has to be a certain way, that typically can repel a lot of people. And this is you just being like, I'm floating along. I know where I need to go. And I mean, this card is so great because it's the balloon carrying the ship. So any obstacles you might normally hit, you know, on the water, you just go right over. And this is, it's that understanding that showing up in a new way, doing something different than you did before, sailing in a whole new way is is that boost to get you where you want to go. And ultimately, yeah, people are typically more drawn to someone with a gentle touch. Starfish spirit, open to infinite possibility. Yeah, infinite possibility. And that's what's happening right now. That's why you haven't begun this new cycle, because you need some time to really think about like the possibilities. Like what do you want to do? What could you do if there were no limits? What would you do with that? Where would you go? How would you show up? And skunk spirit, know your worth. Yeah, know your worth. Know that you are awesome just the way you are. You are unique. There's nobody like you in the world. You have something so special to bring that no one else has ever seen. And this is what draws them into you. This is why you become this enlightened influencer, because you're like, it is this knowing your worth. When you know your worth, you're not arrogant. You're confident, but there's an ease to that. You don't have anything to prove. You're just like, hey, this is me. Take me or leave me. It's totally fine either way. But I know this is you coming back to yourself. At the end of the day, you always come back to you anyway. And this is you standing in that knowing that you are so awesome just because you exist. So where are we at? Okay, I'm going to end with numerology cards because I am and I can. Okay. Individuality. Yeah. Know your worth. It's all about being you. However you show up is perfect. Be independent in who you are. Intuition. Yep. It's coming up throughout this reading. Intuition, tapping into your intuition, because that's your direct line to your higher power, where you get your inspiration from. And music. And this is so interesting. All these cards, there's a lot of this color throughout the reading. Very passionate. I mean, we have all the root chakras here, the base chakras. Red, orange, yellow. This is your security in life, security and stability. This is your creativity and your kind of creative expression. This is your personal power and your ability to shine in the world. And one of the ways is to express yourself through music, or allow music to move you. Become inspired through the music you listen to. And who knows, maybe you're a musician. Maybe you like to create music. Let the inspiration flow through you to bring something new to the world that people really want to hear. Wow. Yeah, this is so perfect for fire signs. This is so perfect. It's a lot of red, fiery colors here. It's awesome. Okay, so that's it. That's the reading for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day and tomorrow, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you on the next video. Mwah. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe.